What is going on, everybody? We are back. We are doing some more by the numbers. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, Scott Hogan coming at you. We are here. We're going to be going over some user sent in numbers from people that watch videos on the channel. So we're going to go through this with a Flightscope Mevo Plus and try to give you a little help of how I kind of analyze numbers and what I would expect to see and what I would do to help correct or fix them to make your game a little bit better. So if you haven't seen these before, make sure you click that subscribe button because we do these as people send them in. And if you're interested in sending in your numbers, go check us out over on Instagram, The Real SHG. That's where you can send them in at, and we'll take a look. All right. So today we've got Flightscope Mevo Plus numbers. We've got them sent in from DK, and he has said that he's hitting the ball short. He wants to get the distance right, and do you see anything that's going on that's going to make you look a little bit easier to hit the ball farther? Okay, so when we look at these numbers, these are all going to be with a 7-iron. Okay, so as we go through, I'm going to look at a couple of things as we go through. All right, so the first thing's always, as we're looking through the numbers here, okay, we've got 3 screens of them. We're going to look at smash factor first. I always want to start with smash factor and see if we're getting that smash factor high enough, especially when we're talking about distance, because the number one way you hit the ball far is hit the ball in the middle of the face. We've been seeing a lot of pictures of irons. Tiger Woods irons were like on sale and stuff, and you just look at like how those irons get worn, and it's like the size of a dime right where the center of the club face is. I mean, that's what these guys do and do really, really well, is hit the ball in the middle of the face. Okay, so obviously they can swing hard and all that, but even then they still hit it in the middle of the face really, really often. So we go over to his smash factor numbers, and you can see here we got some in the 1.04, 02, 1.12. Nothing. I think 1.2 right here is the highest one. Nothing is getting up close to 1.3, which with the 7-iron we would be seeing that. We would see, if you're hitting it really solid in the center, you're going to be seeing, for the PGA Tour, it's around like 1.29. For the LPGA, it's actually a little higher at 1.32, I believe. But in general, we need to be hitting the ball a little bit more in the center of the face, getting that ball to jump off the club face a little bit faster. Now, that can be as simple as just training yourself to hit the ball in the middle of the face, putting 2 objects. What I usually like to do is put 2 tees on the outsides, kind of like what you see people do with putting, where they do a putting gate. We just do that with full swing, where you just swing through the 2 tees and don't hit them. Try to get right through the middle. Now, there's obviously going to be some other things that can affect your smash factor, but that's a good starting point as you start working through your swing. Now, the other things that I would start looking at is, if we're going to look at loss of distance, is let's go ahead and move into, let's go to a different one. Let's see here. Let's take a look at how high the ball is going. Okay, so we're going to look at how high it's going. Right here, you can see the ball launching 25, 26, 27. We had one at 16. You can see that's about as low as we got. We got an 18 here. Typically with a 7-iron, you're going to see that golf ball launching. If you're hitting it well, you're going to see it launching at about 16 to 18 degrees, depending on how fast you're swinging. So you can see this ball is launching very, very high. And just kind of to put everything with it, you can see that the ball is spinning a lot to the right. And you can also see that spin loft is very, very high. Okay, so spin loft again is angle of attack minus your dynamic loft. Okay, and you can see how much you're going to spin the ball and how high it's going to launch, kind of all of it. And so when we go over then to dynamic loft, we see these dynamic lofts are extremely high. So if I had to put a visual to this swing, what I would say is we're looking at somebody that is swinging way too far to the left, most likely because the ball is spinning a lot right. You see some pretty big spins to the right. I'm also seeing somebody that is shortening their arms. So they're coming through and their arms are losing their length, and they're doing that kind of classic flip move then, because they have to hit the ball, or else you're going to kind of hit it over the top of it and things like that. So what I would have this player do is work first on, let's get some center hits, but I'd also be working on it right away with dynamic loft. Let's see if we can get that ball to come down lower. And honestly, the best tool I would think for this would be like a gravity fit type situation, where we would actually just be hitting some really, really comfortable shots where we're trying to get our body to move and we're trying to get our arms to stay long. So what happens when we see somebody that's adding a ton of loft at impact, if you're adding a ton of loft, it's typically because the body has stopped. Okay, you have to then use your hands to continue the swing, and the only way you can really do that is to extend your lead wrist and basically add a ton of loft and hit the ball. So I would have this player work on, all right, we're going to get our arms to stay long throughout the swing. So he would be using like a gravity fit for the bands, keeping the arms long all the way through the swing. Don't let the band shrink up on him, and then just turning his body back and turning his body through as he goes. What I think would happen there is you're going to see that you're going to be able to swing a little bit more around your body when you do that. You're also going to see that your hands don't have to add loft. I would also then just set a height goal of, all right, hey, we're going to launch this thing, especially on a slower shot. We're going to launch this thing at like 10 degrees because we're not going to swing super hard. And then as we pick up speed, we'll see that ball start to rise. So I would just be having him try to work on hitting things. I mean, if we had an on-course scenario, hitting under a tree would be a great kind of feel to go for. So it's starting from there. Again, I always kind of like to look at how the ball is initially starting, and then we can kind of go from there. You know, obviously we could look at some other things like club path, things like that. You can see the angle of attacks here. They're not too bad. They're a little bit down for my likings, but again, I think we're going to kind of correct that with some of the other things that we're doing. But you can see, I mean, we're swinging left and all that, but we got to start with something, and we can only do one or two things at a time. And so I would start with, let's see if we can correct it by, let's work on getting that club face under control a little bit. And then once we do that, we can then start maybe moving into some path and stuff like that. Okay, so that's what I would do. That's how I would start working on it, and that's why the ball is not going near as far as we would like it to. So we can do that, and we can get these numbers going a little bit farther with these carries, getting that ball, I mean, easily up in the 120s, 130s, I would think, if not more, and seeing what we got. So again, if you have questions about it, please leave a comment down below. If you have any comments, what you think you should do, please leave a comment down below. Would love to hear it. And as always, thanks for watching. Click that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. If you would like your numbers sent in, please make sure you head over to Instagram and send them in over there. And also, excited if you want to check out, you know, like I said, gravity fit for this player, or if you're interested in that, check out the link down below, because it's a great tool. So anyway, that's by the numbers here, and thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.